everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist. And it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Plumegate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Plumegate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Fukushima, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't eat them. I'm not kidding. Fukushima ongoing? Hell no. Fukushima's been pouring in the Pacific Ocean for freaking all that time. Full of cesium, full of plutonium. Are we there, Jules? Sorry about that, you guys. Busy late this morning on the radio show for about a minute or two. I hope you're there. They got a lot of breaking news. Both city attorney generals in Utah have just been arrested, taken into custody, the FBI. I've just been trying to listen to the press conference simultaneously, talking to a guy who just went deep-sea fishing in Oregon, showing me the pictures of his fish. I'm like, don't eat them. Don't eat them. He's like, why? It's Fukushima. What's that? So, a lot of major things to talk about this morning. A lot of giant stuff to go around. Fukushima, I got a lot of stuff to talk about there. Of course, this major developing story in Utah, which is a gigantic story. And I'll get into it big time. Mike Lee right now is shaking in his garments, and I can guarantee you he is a nervous wreck right now. Big time nervous wreck. The FBI has went in this morning. There's a long ongoing investigation here in Utah that everybody here has been, why have they not been arrested? We're talking not the sitting attorney general, top cop. He's called himself top cop, both of them. This one and the last one have both been arrested this morning and are being booked into Salt Lake County right now. I'm trying to get in my car so I can turn on the radio and listen to this press conference right now. These are usury, Utah. Buy here, pay here. There's a guy named Jeremy Johnson sitting in prison here. I mean, these are the corrupt. This is what we've developed here in Utah. Over the last 20 years, we've developed a culture of you don't work. No one works here, and if you do, you exploit illegal labor. They've crushed all labor. Anti-union, anti-worker, anti-everything. They just believe in exploiting usury. Buy here, pay here. Nice guy loans. Well, anyway, these guys, I mean, we're talking as usury as it gets. Well, the two previous attorney generals, a long-going investigation was swallowed. He finally had to step down. The sitting attorney general, he's calling himself the top cop, had a sign on his door for sale, taking massive bribes. Well, they finally busted some of these guys down. A guy named Jeremy Johnson, who I know well, is in prison, and he's been singing for the last year and a half, telling the tale of these corrupt, I mean, this is so corrupt. Well, remember this, Mike Lee. Here just 2 weeks ago, Jeremy Johnson from his prison cell said this goes right to Mike Lee. He says Mike Lee's house in foreclosure, which the short sale of Mike Lee's house is the most corrupt thing, and why nobody in Utah reports it is beyond me. Why he's introducing a balanced budget amendment, running as a teabagger, the whole thing, his house in foreclosure, short sale for $600,000 on a bailout to J.P. Morgan. Well, Jeremy Johnson from prison, who is the FBI informant, is saying that a lot of this money that Mike Lee was involved in this, the hush money, they were telling people come up with $220 million and shut up and this go away. I mean, it's on tape. Went directly to Mike Lee's campaign, directly. And Mike Lee knew. Mike Lee was involved. Those are hardcore felonies. Reported by the Tribune here, as the FBI said 3 weeks ago, if this is true, what happened to Mike Lee, these are serious crimes that people go to prison for a lot. Now, this is Mike Lee. Mark Shurtleff, John Swalwell. John Swalwell, by his own party, was found obstruction of justice 7 times. Now, I'm going to turn on the radio right now, and I'm going to try to get this press conference. It's getting ready to start right now. This is a giant, giant story here in Utah. And I mean a giant story.
Nobody has stepped up to take the...
No, we got the biggest prick in the world right here.
We're hoping...
Doug Wright. Doug Wright is a criminal. Doug Wright is the mouthpiece for KSL. He's a passive-aggressive scumbag. KSL are scumbags. I mean, the black and yellow journalistic whores that they are. He's a guy named Doug, and he talks like real quiet, and this is Doug Wright. And they call themselves really quintessential Christians, high-ranking Mormons. This is a guy that beat the war drums in Iraq harder than anyone. They do it passively and quietly. These are the problem here. Doug Wright is one of the biggest criminals this state has ever seen. He's an evil fucker, and he talks like this every day. KSL is giant. Mormon mouthpiece is giant. Now, they'll spin this thing, but it ain't going to work this time. They'll spin this thing because the state is involved. Now, I graduated the #1 school of finance in the country. We're right here in Utah. Like, we also, the same university, Weber State, at the same time, the #1 FBI school in the country. I know a lot of the federal prosecutors. I know them personally. Went to college with them. Some of them were some brilliant dudes. They're not going to fucking skirt out of this. This place is so fucking corrupt right now. He says nobody's at the pulpit yet. We'll monitor this. I want to hear how these fucking hairspray phony fuckers spin this. Now remember, these are the attorney generals, the AG. This is the top cops in the state. The top. This is such a big thing. And like I said, there are white-collar criminals in Utah, which that's all that is here. The Mormon community, that's all it is, that are shaking in their boots this morning. They're shaking in their garments. They don't wear boots. They're shaking in their hairspray this morning. Mike Lee, I guarantee you, is one nervous wreck right now. Everybody here is saying, oh, this is just going on for the last 20, 30 years. They don't ever charge anybody. They don't ever charge. I can't wait to hear these charges come down. The rumor I hear is Swalwell's going to be charged with 17 different felonies. Shurtleff probably just as many. It's developed a culture here. With absolute power comes law, and these people really just go on. They exploited legal labor, buy here, pay here, 641% interest. I mean, and then they call themselves Christians. You on the mountain for usury. Now let me talk about Fukushima. Fukushima, as you know, I have had such a hectic week. Hardcore week. I was in the bone marrow transplant at LDS yesterday. Haven't been there for 2.5 months. Haven't been checked for 2.5 months. You know, my home for the last 33 months. When I was in there yesterday, even just being away from it 2.5 months, you know, because you try to block some of it out, I thinking to myself, my God, this place is so fucking hardcore. The place has got to be the most hardcore place in the world. And I mean hardcore. I was in there yesterday, and I invite people to go, and I can understand why people won't go. They don't want to see that. Everybody in the country should see it. So fucking intense in there. I was thinking the whole way home, I don't know how the fuck I've done it. This fight has been so hardcore to AML leukemia. You know, it's like my buddy Jeff up in Canada. He says, these people don't get it. They don't get it, these diseases. They don't get it. They think you're going to take some apricot seeds, smoke some weed, drink some juice, and it's going to go away. These are fucking hardcore. It's like taking a pea shooter to a fucking drone fight. Now, all that stuff, yeah, before you get cancer, hell yeah, live like you have cancer. But people don't understand. These are the most hardcore, radical fucking diseases that wipe out people and kill people so fast, make your head fucking spin off. One from 170, 130 in 3 fucking weeks. They're brutal. Brutal. The treatment's beyond fucking brutal. I mean, I'm in there, and there's people my age. I met 2 new ones in there. Both pneumonia in their lungs, feeding tubes in their fucking noses, fucking juggler in the side. Oh, yeah, I got a cure for cancer. Here, do this. Take this there. You fucking, it's so over the top. These killer cells, when these free radicals go fucking loose with AML leukemia, it's so fucking on. You don't have no fucking clue. By the time it fucking hits you, you're fucking what? This guy said he was a truck driver, and he just, this guy my age, my hearing, He said he just couldn't see out of the one eye. By the end of the day, he says, I couldn't even stand up. He says, I went from just a blurry vision that morning to they had to fucking carry me into the fucking unit, which it's beyond intensive care. It's intensive care on Balco, literally. This guy's shriveling away, you're in there, grown man, 90 pounds, shrivel up central lines. And you look at him, you think, they'll be dead any minute. So I talked to them both. I go on and I'm like, remember one thing. I look just as bad as you, if not worse. Look at me. I got 119 pounds. That's what nuclear fallout does. Now, Fukushima, Japan, we know we had the typhoon and we had the earthquake. Now, the rumor I'm getting, and that's why I hesitant to put a video up for a whole freaking week, because I was getting all kinds of information. I have a lot of strong ties in Japan, which, by the way, elitists in Japan, who I went to college with. We were the #1 school of business in the country, and I taught. The Japanese elitists, they find them, they go to them, they graduate from them. That's how I know them. They fled after Fukushima. They're in Hong Kong. I'm talking to them. They're saying there are rumors flying around Japan from person to person to person because there's no way you'll get anything out of there. We have to rely on freelance Geiger counter readings. No way you're going to get nothing. Every freaking I has been dotted, every T has been crossed. There is no way to get any information out of there whatsoever, and if anybody even tries, they'll probably be shot, literally, in the pines. You know how many of the Fukushima freaking 100,000 are already dead? Mikado told me, too, she says there's 15,000 of them, she estimates, are dead. They're going out of the Chernobyl playbook. You just don't see it, because it's like the live cams. Who knows if those are really like that? I think it's kind of naive for us to even look at those things and even believe anything in them. That's the biggest lock, stock barrels to cover up spin. They go in 13 miles on the backside. That's where they stage all these dog and pony show for CBS, ABC when they go there. Vargas did go in the boat right by the water right there, and she pulled them up. Hot samples. These people are morons. These people, black and yellow journalistic whores, just play along. Video killed the media star. She's telling me in southern Japan, we've got to remember there's well over 50 reactors there, probably more than that. Because we don't even know how many reactors there, because the secret nuclear weapons machine, that's the only reason it's over there, pointed at China. China knows. Oh, do they know? Taiwan, oh, do they know? The protests are going over there, they're being shot. We don't know how many reactors are even there. And they're just as dangerous and shut down as they are when they're going. She says that the typhoon damaged at least one of the reactors, or the spent fuel pools in southern Japan. Now, makes sense to me. 140-mile-an-hour winds ripping through nuclear reactors in southern Japan, spent fuel sitting in pools. And let me tell you something. If spent fuel pool goes dry or the reactors lose coolant, it's on. And there's no turning it off. There's no off switch on this. None. It's pretty amazing to me, and this all comes down, you've heard me, tariffs, usury laws. Here we go. Press conference has started. Let's listen.
That presumption is applicable here, just as in any criminal...
Well, they're giving their dog and pony opening statements. This is the FBI.
I want to take a moment here to thank all the hard work...
KSL, the worst media in the world.
And their agents and staff who have assisted...
Now remember this. When I shot that video of that crippled horse out by the spiral jetty 3 years ago, and you can all watch it, the horse starving to death, broken leg, the rancher knew, everybody knew out there. I shot the video, it went on KSL's front page. I was interviewed on the lead story on the 6 o'clock news. Got a call from the news that, we're taking that story down, which are felonies. Abuse of an animal is a felony here. It was a newly passed. Sent a video. And by the way, KSL is the only one that would put it on their site. And everybody else got a call says, oh, that rancher knows he's a high-ranking Mormon. They took it like, the Bundy clan. That's how they play. They took it down. These people protect each other. Criminals are protecting criminals. Not this time. Not this time. Like I said, Mike Lee's got to be one nervous fucker right now. By the way, Mike Lee's brother is the Utah State Supreme Court Justice. Lee Justice.
I want to acknowledge the governor and the lieutenant governor's investigation into the election laws issues.
Now, this is the FBI spokesman. Now, I'll talk about it as he goes along. He's thanking all the Utah. Troy Rollins, he's thanking him. He's a Davis County attorney, which I know very personally. So these guys live right here where I live. This is the culture here. I'm telling you, this is such a big story nationally. And people say, "Oh, whoopee." No, these are the attorney generals, the top cop. These are major, major crimes. This is a dagger to white collar crime. Maybe this is a pivot. Maybe we can move off this fucking catastrophe. We're trying to paying people cash, exploiting labor, fucking lying and cheating, forging paper on mortgages. I mean, you think about the mortgage crisis here. These people were forging documents, mortgage brokers. I know lots of them. None of them went to jail. By the way, it ties into that, too. This Jeremy Johnson, I have another friend of his who was in Nevada forging paper. He was telling me, I says, where's Martel? Oh, he's in prison. In Nevada, they did put some of them in prison. Not here in Utah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not white collar crime is not only legal, it is encouraged through the Mormon community, through the whole state, not just Mormons, the whole, everything.
False or inconsistent material statements, a second-degree felony.
Here we go.
Counts of tampering with evidence, third-degree felony. Misuse of public money, a third-degree felony. Obstruction of justice, a third-degree felony. Falsification or alteration.
He's reading off the charges.
Of a government record, a Class C misdemeanor. And failure to disclose a conflict of interest, a Class C misdemeanor. Mark Leonard Sturgis this morning was charged with a...
That was Swallows.
One count of pattern of unlawful activity, a second-degree felony.
Second-degree felony.
Soliciting a bribe, a second-degree felony.
Another second-degree felony.
$1,000. 2 counts of accepting a gift, second-degree felony.
Another second-degree felony.
Over $1,000. 1 count of tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony.
Third-degree felony.
Tampering with evidence, a third-degree felony.
Another third-degree felony.
1 count of accepting employment evidence, impaired judgment. And 1 count of obstructing justice, a third-degree felony.
Third-degree felony.
The bail has been set at $250,000.
$250,000 bail on sure.
The result was appropriate given a number of offenses. We have been in communication with their counsel, and we have also made available to them that...
So shirtless been charged, it sounds like, with 4 third degrees and 1 second degree. Swallow, it sounds like, if I got this right, 3 second-degree felonies, 4 or 5 third-degree felonies, and possibly, I'm not sure on this, 1 first degree.
It is alleged that from 2008 to 2013, defendant Swallow was associated with a group of individuals.
He's reading the individual charge now.
Indirectly, a pattern of unlawful activity. The individuals, entities, and acts underlying status or proceeds have jurisdictional ties to Salt Lake County, Utah.
Remember, this is Swallow who had a sign on his door. This is how Gary was when this thing. All right, he put joking. He was joking. He said "for sale" on his door, and it took us a year and a half, 2 years to even get him to step down. Well, because the state, it's one-party politics here. You know, with absolute power comes absolute. There's no 2 parties, and there's no open Republican primaries. These are closed caucuses. These are things that are charged between... Carl Loeb runs the show here. Do not kid yourself. BYU law. Carl Loeb in the closed caucuses. Mike Lee's Alito staffer. Alito a gift to the United States going through Bush. He was handpicked by Rove. Alito was handpicked by Rove. This all comes to a small group of their little club.
It is alleged that John Swallow received approximately $22,000 from Richard Rawl.
Richard Rawl gave him $23,000 in bribes. $50,000 by Jeremy John. I know Jeremy good. Crooked fuckers. Stay with me on this. John Swallow gave false information while under oath. This is while he was the Attorney General. Retroactive created invoices. John Swallow deleted and destroyed electronic emails in the investigation.
It is alleged that John Swallow misused public money in
Misused public money.
Computer of his home computer at the taxpayer's expenses. It is alleged that John Swallow obstructed justice in his interviews with the FBI.
Obstructed justice in his interviews with the FBI.
Altered or falsified documents when he failed to disclose.
Altered and falsified documents to the FBI.
Source of payments that are required by law.
Failed to disclose source of payments. Now, like I said, this flows into a United States Senator. This ties to Mike Lee and his campaign.
2008,
Here we go, shirtless.
Mr. Shirtless associated with a group of individuals to conduct or participate in or directly or indirectly a pattern of unlawful activity. The individual entities act, underlying cases, or proceeds have jurisdiction.
I know, shirtless.
County. These activities include multiple instances of witness tampering, searching bribes, money laundering, and/or accepting
money laundering, accepting gifts, accepting bribes.
Visited Pelican Hill, that the expenses of which were paid by a person whose plea he was personally involved in and was prosecuted by the Attorney General's office and convicted by his office and was at the time under probation to his office. It is alleged that Mark Shirtless, with John Swallow, made contact with a gentleman named Jonathan Eborn, who was told that contributing to his campaign would benefit him.
Jonathan Eborn, this is the guy that Shirtless told him. He says, "Give me $220,000 to my campaign." Now, this is where it ties to Mike Lee.
Received gifts valuing in more than $1,000 from Jeremy Johnson and the use of his personal property, as well as travel on his personal jet.
Now, one of these guys was involved in committed suicide up in his cabin. Here, this has been going on for quite a few years, this investigation.
The case was dismissed by Mark Shirtless while he was engaged in negotiating employment with contrary to the line attorneys involved in the case and that had a subject
crooked fuckers.
Was the client of the firm that he
on the family, boy, here.
It is alleged that Mark Shirtless tampered with the witness who was engaged
witness tampering
in a pending litigation and told him to back off. Furthermore, it is alleged that the defendant...
This broke at Men's Cafe because what's his name they just talked about secretly recorded it. I mean, they haven't recorded. I mean, then it got leaked out to some national media. Local media's not going to play this.
Who was on probation and was revoked and had been personally was previously funded...
Like I said, again, these are the city attorney general, the last two. I mean, that's how big. This is the top of the heap. Attorney generals, state attorney generals. This isn't some chief of police or some cop, which so many of them are corrupt. This is the attorney generals. I mean, he's gonna take some questions and take minimal, and wait till you hear these spin. The Mormon mouthpiece, KSL, will try to cover their ass. That ain't gonna work this time. That is Doug Wright himself. That phony fucker. This is such a massive story, and not just here, all over. Because we know how it's played out in the last 20 years. And you think about exploiting illegal labor. You know, people paying cash, that's against the law. I mean, it's just normal accepted behavior to cool all these white-collar crimes, which erodes the tax base, and then the fraud and the bribery, and white-collar criminals just do whatever they want. They're just walking, and nobody's done anything. I mean, it goes into the war complex. It runs deep across culture. This is such a systemic cultural problem in this country. No, not a problem. It's corruption. It's white-collar crime. It's, you know, it's unchecked balance of power. There's just one amok. You just allow it to go and go and go, and it just becomes so out of hand. That's what America is. America is a white-collar crime-infested hellhole. So now we'll turn this off because this is a dog and pony show now as far as the questioning goes. But serious charges, they just read them off. So it sounds like to me, I had to get out my car and listen to this. Sounds like to me, excuse me, John Swallow, the sitting attorney general who just stepped down, it sounded like it was 4 second-degree felonies and 4 or 5 third-degree felonies, and maybe, I don't know if I heard a first or not. But anyway, Shirtless, about the same. Their obstruction of justice, their money laundering, all the, quintessential top of the heap money crimes, because that's how these people judge each other. None of them know how to work. None of them ever spent any time learning a skill or craft. I was a plaster for all these. I had the biggest stucco business in the country. And I'll never forget, I called Shirtless himself. I called him one day. And this is, way back, when my past business was raging. And I says, hey, could you send me a list of which laws you're going to enforce and which ones you're not? And he says, what are you talking? Finally, he called me back. I kept going to his secretary. Because he knows me. I was a big businessman in this town. I mean, I worked in Wall Street, had my hedge fund, had my plaza business. This is a long time going, well, what the fuck? Which laws? Is rape legal? Is murder legal? What's legal? What's not? I don't understand. I do not understand. It is so illegal to pay a person cash. Yet these contractors are going out and finding this sea of hungry people from the South and giving the and you're not enforcing it. It's undermining every business in this fucking state. Don't you understand? It is undermining every. That taco stand set up in front. My friend owned a Mexican restaurant here for multiple generations. Huge business. They allowed a taco stand in front of it. Cash, 50-cent tacos, dollar tacos. You don't even know, no food inspection process where it's coming from. No tax base. They don't pay any fucking taxes. Well, this person's, serving $10 plates of Mexican food for lunch. Big business. Done. Wiped them out. And you could go over every business in America. Wiped out. How do you compete with somebody who's paying people cash and says, the tax? No. Workman's comp is important. You have to have that. So these guys get hurt now. They're being so exploited as usury, and that's why I had so much hope for Pope Francis. He picked Francis, the Pope of usury. His people, they're exploiting his people. So you come here, so you get hurt on a job. You can't go to the hospital. You're illegal. So they doctor themselves. They go home and die. It is fucking usury. It is slavery. It undermines every legitimate business in it. I don't care. I was a contractor. I've watched the construction industry in Utah be overwhelmingly desecrated. I was the biggest stucco contractor in the state. Started plastering at 15 years old. I watched the biggest concrete guy. I watched the biggest framer. I mean, incredible skilled craftsmen with incredible crews of incredible guys who spent 30, 40 years, making $40, $50 an hour. Incredible skilled humans. Amazing. Wiped out, gone. They're all dead. They drank themselves to death. Their wives left them. They lost everything. Not no fault of theirs because they played by the rules. They learned their craft. They walked up and they apprenticed. I apprenticed for years. We learned our skills. We learned our craft. We paid our freaking taxes. We paid our workman's comp. We paid everything. We paid our health free. Then all of a sudden the guy comes in with hairspray, pulls up in a truck. And this isn't just the construction. It's desecrated the construction business. It's like the quality gone. These guys are being so exploited. Is it the illegal way? No. There was no fence. It's a simple, hello. If they wouldn't, there's no market. If it's not legal to pay, it's illegal to pay someone cash. It undermines the community tax base. It undermines the community, period. You have no community. It's everything fucking usury and anti-Christian, Muslim, anti-logic, anti-everything. Jesus Christ threw the money changers out of the temple, and then it just folds. It just keeps evolving. Buy here, pay here. There's advertising on that. Nice guy loans. Usury, 600. We were the last state in the union to get rid of usury laws. The whole country had usury laws for years, decades, and decades and decades. Maximum interest rate you could charge 6% above prime. What the fuck's prime? Pretty well zero. Think about it. You got a person who's hungry. They've lost their job. They've got to go borrow. They're freaking loan sharks. It's nothing more than hair-sprayed loan sharks. They're fucking loan sharks, and they use the court system as their collection goons. Now, these people that kills me, they're like, put these people in jail for not, let's bring back debtors' prisons until it's them. Mike Lee's one of those. Mike Lee's and brother, he used to hammer people for, not paying back a fucking payday loan or not paying back a fucking, a car payment or not paying back something. Oh, it's different, $2,000 a person could pay. $500, put him in jail, which they'll do it here. Oh, when it's him, $600,000, that's different. Know this, while he was running, and why this is not a massive, you're talking a United States senator, we're not talking a congressman, a senator. Senators wield incredible power in this structure. Running against Bennett, head of the Senate Banking Committee, so he's going down, chosen behind closed doors. He's living in this big house up in Alpine, can't afford it. He's one of these usury guys. This is how he made his money. Buy here, pay this. Well, he didn't make his money. They just leverage up. They just leverage more and more. Build a bigger house, leverage. Build a bigger house, leverage higher. And it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme done through mortgage brokers. He's in a house. The meltdown happens while he's running. He owes $1.2 million on the house. You can't pay. He's never paid a mortgage payment on it. That's what they do. They don't pay mortgage payments. They borrow, then they borrow more, and then they borrow more, and they get bigger and bigger and just borrow more and more and more and more. That's how it works. It's a Ponzi scheme done through mortgage brokers. It's being happened all over the country. Mortgage bubble 2.0. So his house gets short sold. I mean, he loses his house. First sitting United States senator in the history of this country to lose his home while he's a sitting senator, that I know of anyway, and I've done a lot of research on this. Why he's introducing a balanced budget amendment, why he's saying cut food stamps, why he's saying cut all these freaking programs. He's 600,000, J.P. Morgan. Now, in the state of Utah, understand this, these guys. You short sell a mortgage here, it becomes legal tender. You don't walk away. You owe 600,000 on the short sale, then you don't just walk. And even if the person wants to write it off, the bank or whatever, it doesn't work that way. It's legal tender here. This is the collection attorney capital of the world. You could buy it from each other, and they buy from each other, and they sue. The courtrooms are just lined up. They're 100 deep lined up for this. That's a big ticket here. This is the United States Senate. They garnish your wages. He makes what, 180,000 a year. So why wasn't that sold? And under the bailout. Oh, it was a gift to Alito. Oh, Colorado, J.P. Morgan under the bank bailout. It's so fucking corrupt. This is why he's getting elected. This is why he's holding up his buddy Cruz on the Senate floor. This is so outrageous. Just like the Bundy gig down there. I went off on you guys, and I warned you. Do not throw in with this Bundy. I know how these fuckers play. They're racist. They're pedophiles. So many of these fuckers. These people are the biggest liars. They're posture and groomed to lie from birth. That is the culture here. I tell you, don't throw in. Don't throw in. You'll be sorry you throw in. And Hannity and all you guys throw in with that fucker. You know how fucking creepy that dude is? You know, and more this is going to spill out. Like, there's a lot of nervous Mormon bishops in this fucking state this morning. Oh, is there a lot of nervous fuckers? Because they've had carte blanche. They've been able to do whatever. The state's not going to charge them. Because the Mormon Church is incorporated that white-collar crime is not only legal, it's encouraged. They're not going to go after anybody because it's a club. Well, the FBI just did. This is going to these are serious freaking charges, and these guys, you think, oh, it's going to be no, these guys are going to go to fucking prison. Now, you think about that. 2 attorney generals. The one, he just stepped down. And the previous one, the last 20 years, these are the guys. They're going to go to prisons. And it's not like the old days, you're going to go play golf at a federal prison. Oh, no. Now, you can bet your ass Alito's going to be stepping into this. You can bet your ass Karl Rove, well, good, let him open this thing, because let's get real. Karl Rove did steal the election in 2004, and he tried again in 2008, and they did steal it in 2000. Karl Rove, everybody says, oh, he was this genius. I ran his ass out of here. I debated that fucking little fat weasel dick piece of shit here. We ran him out of Utah, right here in freaking Weber State. He got run out of here. That's why I went to Texas. He is the biggest Benedict Arnold that ever. Everybody says, oh, he saved the Republican Party. No, he ruined the Republican Party. Let's get real. Has he ever won an election? No. Yeah, he stole too. But as the can gets kicked, you keep stealing, you keep lying. It's like this. You're in a relationship. One's accusing the other of cheating, which typically when one's accusing the other of cheating, it's usually the one that's doing the accusing is doing the cheating or getting ready to. They're justifying their own behavior at what they're going to do. They're posturing and grooming themselves. That's what these fuckers do. So the one finds out the other's cheating. And it goes on and on and on. Whose fucking fault is it? The one allowed it. And it just gets worse. The lie just grew. The lie of 2000, come on. Bush did not fucking win. Orchestrated out of Utah? Yes, Fox News is the Mormon Church. Very tied in deeply. Hardcore ties. This roots right back here all the time. It always comes back here because that's the way they play here. Alito only hides out of BYU law. Mike Lee was his lead staffer. He was handpicked behind closed doors. My guess is you're going to see a major news stories breaking on Mike Lee in the next freaking 3 or 4 weeks. Giants. By the way, you have to see the interview with he and I, and he lied to me. He lied to me. He says, I will get back to you Monday, Kevin, on Fukushima. I asked him right this thing, and I have it on YouTube, about Fukushima. And by the way, he didn't know what Fukushima was. I prepped him. I prepped his aide in the morning because I didn't want to play I got you because I don't play that way. I'm very diplomatic. I use diplomacy. Right place and right time. YouTube, when I go on, that's the right place and the right time for what I do. But I know how to operate. He lied to me. He says, I'll get back to you on Monday. That's the same Monday he was holding Ted Cruz up on the freaking Senate floor. And you people say, oh, politics don't matter. The fuck they don't. It is representative government. Our forefathers were brilliant enough and understood that Congress had this power and that the seats evolved through the population. Now, yeah, we've had governors jerry-rig them and play games, but still, it is representative government. You know, and change doesn't come from the top down. It comes from the grassroots up. That's why it's called grassroots, not AstroTurf. Koch brothers, yeah, granted, it takes a long time sometimes. But sooner or later, the lies, you know, the chickens have come home to roost. You know, oh boy, if they're coming home to roost. And I'm telling you, they're going to come home. So you play this game, just leverage up your house, exploit labor, you build up your fucking business on a house. Just like China is building up their whole economy on a house of cards. Now you think about the Chinese economy. They throw all in with the United States, with nothing more than American companies going to the United States in the usury complex. There's nothing Chinese about any company over there. It's just a way to backdoor us as American workers. Us as American workers got backdoored by slaves in China. Because China is a communist country regime, they either play ball and accept or they kill them. You know how many women are executed a day in China? A day. Oh yeah, Dick Cheney's heart. So that's all they did. They're not Chinese. Now, per se, there are some Chinese companies, but GM, don't you love it? As America goes, GM goes. GM went bankrupt. They went broke. They stiffed the American worker. They stiffed the shareholder. Oh, then they just started up again with employees in China. You can go every American company, every single one of them. All this has been in the last 30 years is a backdoor to labor. This is usury. This is devils. This is nothing but devils have backdoored everything this country stood for, fought for, and bled for. And we've allowed it. And Operation Foxconn, the mouthpiece, is the one who's orchestrated it. There's no doubt in my mind that Fox News is CIA funded by the Pentagon. The war machine, these people love it. You either work for the government now or you don't have a fucking job. How do you compete with a guy, a hamburger fat fucker, who's good at exploiting labor? You know, I can outwork 5 guys, but you start out to work 10 or 20. I'm not about to work for $10 an hour as a skilled. I mean, a good skilled plaster should be making $100 an hour. Just like I loved it. Oh, these guys are making $60 an hour. Jam, yes. So what's wrong with that? That's what they should be making. That's what American working class should be making. Fuck, money's worthless. I like how the dollar's gonna crash, and if I hear that from one more, the dollar already crashed, you fucking morons. The dollar got thrashed in 2003, 2006, the biggest saw in half of wealth in American history. Dollar's gonna crash. Fuck, it's just like, oh, Fukushima, waiting for the same event. Oh, we might get this. It already happened. People are dying left and right of fucking cancer every fucking day. Fukushima's not going away. You can go into now just like when the dollar got crashed. You can go into now. I want to buy gold and live happily ever after. Gold is not a mode of exchange. It's not. You know, go to the store and say, hey, here's some share of piece of gold. Go over. You got to change it for cash. It's a speculation. It's a shiny piece of metal that comes out of the earth. That there's lots of it. What do you get out there? It's some finite commodity that is some magical thing. Well, it's biblical again. Worship the golden calf. It's shiny yellow. It hypnotizes. I'm all for owning some in your portfolio because commodities are important to own. Oil, whatever. They're speculation, gambling. That's all you're doing. Yeah, if you bought it in 2000 gold, you made a hell of a score. But if you bought, gold was 4 years ago? 1900. I was doing videos, 3 years ago. I was doing videos every morning. The Dow was melting down again at 90. It was at 9,500. And you can look them up all through August of 2011, right before I got cancer. Not only telling you, sell your gold, double down in the markets. I was telling you exactly what. I'm telling you, buy Tesla, $18. Sell your gold at 1,900, buy Tesla. Gold was $1,900  3 years ago. It's 1,300. Oh, the Dow was 9,500. It's 17,000. Tesla was 15. These are speculation. If you're going to play the market, then play the fucking markets. Otherwise, you can't put it in the bank because it's going to erode. Yeah, why do you think they keep the interest rate so fucking low? Alan Greenspan, Operation Foxconn, Free Market Fairy Tales, Ann Lander, the greatest terrorist in American history. When the rate should have been going up, it's called classical medicine. It was going fucking down. There's a price to pay for that. Oh, it's going to happen. The economy melted down. Oh, yeah, we got full employment. The fuck we do. It's just the way they count it. Again, figures don't lie, liars figure. They changed the way they count unemployment. They changed the way they count CPI, the PPI, off balance sheet accounting for banks. Are you fucking kidding me? It's so insane. It's so corrupt. It's a culture of corruption. You go down, oh, more my house than it's worth, oh, more my car is worth, then I can prove it. I can prove it. The average American, these studies have been done by social scientists for 1,000 years. What is the number, list me the top things that people refuse to talk about in public or in an interview or really to anyone. It's always been the top of the heap is their sexuality. That's what it's always been. Until a few years ago, it changed. Their debt structure. It's a facade. We have turned into a giant masquerade party. Thus, all the fucking hairspray. That's what this is. It's a masquerade party. Fake breasts, fake Botox. I got a hot truck and a boat and fucking, I can't even get a job at fucking McDonald's. I'm just fucking lying through my debt structure. And the Fed goes along, just slash a rate, keep it zero forever. And let me tell you, and I am an economist, try me. I was on Wall Street all those years. We had a fucking Goldilocks economy in the 90s. We had no inflation. The classical medicine from the Volcker Fed. They raised that interest rate to 17. Everybody bitched about it. Boy, did it work. It's called classical medicine. The only tool the Fed has. And the Fed reports to the Congress. And I the Fed's 100 years old. The fuck it is. The word, the Federal Reserve. We have had a central bank since before we had a country. 1774, 1775. And it was rooted in tariffs. It was rooted in spirituality. Righteousness, right? Because it was anti-usury. Alexander Hamilton was anti-usury. Abraham Lincoln, anti-usury. Now, Jefferson, I love it. Okay, Jefferson. Yeah, to till the earth, there's nothing closer to God. He never tilled anything. His slaves did. But he was pragmatic enough to understand, hey, Hamilton's right. For it is naive to think that our vast natural resources, our shores, will not be attacked for them. Alexander Hamilton. Thus, I have to have a public army. Oh, socialist. That fucking socialist. We have to have the ability to borrow money for when they do. Without Hamilton, we lose World War I and II. We lose World War II. We had to borrow all that money because we had a grade A credit rating because of protectionary policies. Oh, yeah, we always had tariffs. He was a stickler on no debt. Oh, how have we got no debt? Well, let's see. You don't want to pay any taxes. Nobody wants to pay any fucking taxes. You backdoor and you fucking pay cash. You want wars you won't fucking pay for. How can we not fucking just go into ruining debt? The job market, the participation rate's the lowest since 1979 for the opposite reason. Nobody's working anymore because who the fuck's got a gold man my age going to go work for $10 an hour? It's worthless. It's fucking worthless. You're going backwards, not forward. Working class Americans are working harder and longer to go further in debt. I tell everybody, quit that fucking shitty job. Quit it. Sell your junk. Sell your fucking shit. Go bankrupt if you got to. Start over. Go for a walk. Raise your kids. Fucking get in tune with the environment. Take on environmental issues. Fucking become an activist. Do something that makes you feel good, not fucking bad, because you're broke already. What's the difference of being fucking broke, fucking being miserable in a fucking shitty job, or being fucking broke and being happy? Taking on a fucking righteous issue. Like the environment. Become an environmentalist. Go bird watching. Take a walk with your kids. Just let's go. You don't need to go fishing. Go sit by the lake and look at the animals. Go bird watching. Go up in the mountains and watch the deer. You don't have to kill them. Oh, I need to feed my family. The fuck you do? It's such bullshit. It's such old, stereotypical lying fucking posture and grown fucking small dick, small penis fucking Freudian bullshit. These fuckers here, that's how they play here. Because, it's not what I am, it's who they think I am. Ooh, look at my house, honey. Ooh, I got this cute little mama girl. Look at me. It's a facade. And these girls fall for it for a while. And then they get older and oh my God, what did I do? Fucking marrying this fraud. Why do you think they pop 5, 6 fucking pills a day here? There's a major, I've grown up here my whole life. I've watched the evolution of this. It's horrific here across the country. They just opened up the floodgates in the 90s when we signed NAFTA and just started letting us exploit hungry people from the South. Instead of helping them out with their job market, Del Monte moves into freaking Mexico and displaces 40 million freaking farmers. NAFTA. Bill Clinton, the greatest Republican who ever walked. Not even a Republican. Hoover would have fucking kissed him on the mouth. Hoover would French kiss him on the fucking mouth. He did just as much fucking damage to this country as fucking Bush ever dreamed of. He's the one that started deregging the fucking country. Fuck John Kennedy. John Kennedy would spit in his face. He was the opposite of John Kennedy in every way. I tell everybody to think about the sexual improprieties. Marilyn Monroe compared to Monica Lewinsky. My dad used to say, my dad looked just like Elvis Presley. My dad was the most beautiful person. I mean, my little grandson, everybody, you take that little grandson anywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, look how beautiful he is. Those eyes, you know what I mean? He's a beautiful child with this big brain. My father, my dad looked exactly like Elvis Presley, except he just had this body like an Adonis. And he had this incredible wit like Walt Whitman. People would go crazy over him. They would go nuts. These were the people, and they were people who cared about their family. They were loving, logical people. They didn't put up with these hairsprayed lying fuckers. There's plenty of beautiful people here. That's why they were beautiful people. They were beautiful people because they stood on the right side of these issues, and we protected our country that way. Yeah, protectionist fucking life, we were protectionist. So you displaced these people in Mexico, NAFTA. My dad used to say this. He was so full of great one-liners. He was a genius. As the nuclear cartel drafted him, the haters drafted him here, and he was murdered in the Nevada test. He died later of leukemia. Yeah, I watched him go through this fucking hellish fucking war. I watched him fucking pass. Well, this is a guy who never had a cavity in his fucking life. My grandma says, I don't ever recall him having a cold. This fucking shit kills you. Nuclear fallout kills you. You know, it's just like in Utah, we talk about it over and over. But he used to say this, Kevin, let me tell you, boy. I'm going to tell you something right now. You want to know every single thing about a man. Everything. With not a word coming out of his mouth. And I think it works the other way, too. Look at his partner. Look at her. Look at her and what she's about. It will speak volumes, everything for him. And if you can't walk around with a beautiful, sophisticated, classy female, and it has very little to do with external looks, it's internal. It's their light. He knew that. He knew that, my beautiful artist mother. Her light that radiates through them. You women know what I'm talking about. It's really not that physical. It's just a radiant beauty. It says everything about that guy. Oh, Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Oh, my God. You ever seen those photographs of her back in the Arkansas football games when he was losing? Wow. Never did her hair, never gave a fuck and everything. She's so ratty. She's grotesque in my book, by the way. I cannot fucking stand her. You know? But I'll take her over freaking Sarah Palin any fucking day. At least she has a brain. But she's fucking pathetic. Bill Clinton compared to John Kennedy. He ran as that. Signed NAFTA. I felt like I was on Wall Street that day. I was teaching at the university that day. No, I was going. I think I was finishing up my fucking degree then, too, going back and forth. Yeah, that's right. I never told Dr. Koo, I said, I think I've just been gut shot. We're done. This country's over. Then I watched it evolve. They displaced 40 million farmers in Mexico. They would sell their produce, $1 a tomato, 50 cents a tomato. Now, Del Monte comes in and sells them for 5 cents. They come across the border in droves because they're hungry. They're fucking real hungry. And these hair-sprayed fucking lying usury fuckers, car-selling fucks, fat lady fuckers who never learned a trade, never learned a skill, fucking, they went to work. They become contractors. They become restaurateurs. They become fucking landscapers. They become fucking grocers. They become it all. And all they do is exploit. Here. Hey, here's the scam here in Utah. You're a contractor. You got a bunch of illegals you're working. Hey, sorry, man, I can't get you paid today. I know it's payday, but I can't get you paid. The contractor stiffed me, blah, blah. Just lie. Sorry. What are they going to do? Who are they going to go cry to? There's no one to go cry to. Mark Shurtleff is being indicted for fucking multiple felonies. I tried going to that fuckhead Swallow. Bribe me, maybe I'll do something. They didn't do nothing. So the endless sea, 50 million of them coming across, hungry, hard workers, very hungry people. They got families to feed. They're starving to fucking death. That's what people don't understand here in the complex. And those people were starving to death because of NAFTA. They come across, so these guys just take advantage and they exploit. Well, there's a tax base. So how have they compensated the tax base in your community? They keep raising your property tax. Why do you think they keep raising the interest rate at 0? Oh, they raise property tax, inflate their way out. It doesn't just keep the housing market afloat, the exploiters afloat. It keeps the tax base afloat. Take a look at your property tax. I mean, I know a guy from here. He sold out, and he's just living in San Diego. Can't take it here. It's so fucking grotesque. They kept setting the bar higher and higher and higher. I was down there at USS Reagan hearing last summer. I'm down there. And I said, didn't work out too good. And he said, how did you know? And I said, insurance and property tax. He bought a house with cash. $2,600 a month he pays in property tax insurance. Don't work. They just keep raising property tax. Raise it higher and higher. You know, shit. You go to Ireland, they'll tell you, hey, how come you guys in the United States can't own anything? Why can you not own anything? What do you mean? Property tax. Then they just keep raising it at the local level, and the corruption is so great in your community. But the average American, they don't even know who their congressman is, let alone who their fucking local state senator is, or their state politician. They got no clue. It's going to be interesting to see how they spin this thing. I'm going to try to listen today at a business day. My tests were kind of inconclusive yesterday at the hospital. You know, it's LDS. You know, here we are, the autism capital of the world. We're probably the cancer capital of the world. Maybe, you know, Belarus and Ukraine might have us beat. You know, Fukushima, Japan's going to pass us. Maybe. I don't know. We took the brunt here. Yet nobody will even talk about these things. Our hospital says they're going to double bed space. You're talking acute bone marrow. They only take on the hardest of the hard. I got thrown off my Medicaid right as I got the cows kicked out of the Energy Solutions dump site. And how do I get the cows kicked out of the Energy Solutions? Through the governor's office? Through the attorney general's office? Through Mike Lee's office? Oh, yeah. You think it's coincidence? All of a sudden, boom, I'm kicked off Medicaid without even notification? My daughter's down there, what the fuck are you going to do? I says, you're the fuckers who are using me as a playbook. I wanted to walk away from this unit a year ago. I mean, I've been off medication for a year and a half. The PA down there, that new PA from China there, she's like, oh my God, it's going through your list. You have AMA, leukemia, you've done it with, you weaned yourself off all the medications? Yeah. She says, oh my God, it's unheard of what you've done. Yeah. They're building a treatment program based around me. So I'm like, so now you're building a treatment. I don't need your fucking care anymore. I haven't needed your care for a long time. Well, you spin my blood. You haven't done anything for me in a year and a half. I've done this on my own. You know, granted, you saved my life early, but, you know, now you're guinea pigging me to set up and I know it's important, and I want to do it. I want to do it so other people can survive this fucking horrific disease. Brian Morris and I, they're building new treatment. It's automatic bone marrow transplant. 5 RCM squared. Well, 2 of us live without a bone marrow transplant. That's why it's so important for me to live, and I know they're documenting and building a new treatment program. I said, okay, you want to build it? Well, at least don't. I mean, you don't got to pay me. I don't care. But how can I come in here with no insurance now? You know, and get these big bills? It's a lot of money every time I walk in here. At least you can do is cover that. We'll see how that fucking plays out. Because it isn't up to the doctors. It's up to the administrators, and all they got is fucking dollar signs in their eyeballs. That's all they got. Their money, their wealth trumps all morality, all honesty, all truth, because they've been fooled into thinking that that's how you judge each other. Biggest house wins. No, the biggest house loses. That's what they don't get. This has played out before in American history, but it's different this time because we have nuclear fission in the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific genocide is very, very fucking real. You guys go deny all you want about that. Oh, they got a handle. They ain't got a fucking handle on nothing. There's no off switch. The greatest ecological catastrophe in the world. This should be the biggest fucking story in the history of fucking the last 2,000 years. And it's not. Because it all falls back into the masquerade party. People are fucking in denial, and they know. I like to prove that they know. Fish consumption out of the Pacific Ocean is down 60% post-Fukushima. Just like I talked to this fucking moron this morning. Look at these 2 salmon. Don't eat them. Why? Fukushima. What's Fukushima? Deep-sea fishing in Oregon. Huh. Fucking unbelievable. How can you not know about Fukushima? How can you be? Are you a human? Walking around with the Seattle Seahawks fucking jersey on football. I mean, what the fuck? I like sports. They've been ruined too. Hijack. Oh, right here in Utah. Energy Solutions fucking Center, the Jazz playing. Really? I had season tickets the first year Jazz were here. $140 for the fucking year. That's when it was a sport. That's when it was fucking fun. That's when it was entertainment. That's when it was great. Guy fucking signed $63 million contract for 4 years. When the average fucking Utah fucking won't make what he makes in 1 year in their fucking lifetime. Okay, yay, let's cheer these guys on. Our parents wouldn't do it. The average athlete in 1975 only made 3 times the average American. I'll wind this thing up, you know. Got a busy day today. Yesterday was fucking horrible. Fuck, going in there, you know, and I understand. I invite people to go. Nobody will go. You know, I understand I'm on my own. I get that. Just like the Energy Solutions dump site, I protested, I'm on my own. Just like the anti-nuclear as an environmentalist in Utah, an anti-usury, I'm on my own. It's me. Until this morning. Things changed this morning. This big event in my life. This thing has evolved for 30 years. This should have happened a long time ago. This, to me, shows a major pivot. Yeah, it'll take a long time. I understand that. It'll take a very long time. But it's going to happen. Hey, what time do you got? Is it 9?
It's 9:55.
Thanks. So I'll wrap this up. You know, big day here. In the hospital was so heartbreaking yesterday. It's so fucking hardcore. And you can go in denial all you want about your finances. You go in denial all you want about the fucking corruption and your sexuality and the fucking lies and your perception, but you can't lie when it comes to cancer. Yeah, that doesn't work. I've watched it in the hospital. I mean, this guy, he's about my age, and they're, the Mormons are selling this pill. It'll save you. It'll save you. No, it won't. You know, doctors saying it'll mask the blood works. A placebo will mask the blood works to where it's showing that your blood works are getting better when they're really not. That's what so many of these so-called alternative cures do. All they do is mask the blood work. So you think you're getting better. There was a famous story that come out of Canada. Cannabis are showing great results on animal leukemia. So I read it. I'm like, oh, my God. They took these 2 patients, filled them full of cannabis, white out AML. We showed great results in the blood works, and I read down, both dead. Those are the good results. They died. The bottom line is you're fighting to stay alive, to live. Who gives a fuck about the rest? The rest is all a fucking masquerade party. It's a facade. And we as a people need to come out of fucking denial. Go in your bone marrow transplant center. Fucking take a look at your neighbor who's fucking dying. Go sit with them while they're fucking dying so you can grasp the reality of these diseases. Scared straight? Fucking ain't scared straight. I took Megan and Melissa in there, changed those young girls' life. They're massage therapists, and I guarantee you it did them a lot of good. They came out of there crying. They spent the day with me in there. The place is brutal. 90-pound shriveled up fucking people in there with fucking, lines hanging out of their jugular fucking veins, feeding tubes out of their fucking noses, balled up, shriveled up, fucking clinging, fighting for their fucking lives. I mean, I don't know how those nurses down there, and all I like to say this in conclusion, the nurses at LDS Bone Marrow East Egg, which the Mormon Church doesn't own any of it, they grandstand that too. I cannot say enough about them. How do they do it? I don't know how they possibly fucking do it. Because the vast majority there, and they become very intimate with the patients. It's the only people you communicate with. And the vast majority of patients die in the primes of their lives. They save people that probably should never be saved. They perform miracles in there. Incredible miracles, and I'm fucking one of them. I'm a walking, talking, breathing miracle. Oh, Esther Nuvo, I'm alive. Yeah, I'll stand on alive, and I'll fight the usury complex. I'll fight the environmental poisons in Utah as an environmentalist by myself. The rest, they could say they are. They're not. Hopefully we'll get some new ones born. Some baby wolves will come out of the landscape. When I was a boy, people like my parents and my grandparents were very common. The whole community was like, yeah, but this place was rich. It was anti-usury, so they worked 40 hours a week, had good, well-paying jobs, had time to read books, had time to become cultured, had time to become articulate, had time to become an environmentalist, had time to fight for what mattered. They weren't working 2 shitty 65-hour jobs, fucking going getting a shitty-ass pizza, throwing their Wendy's bag out the fucking window, go getting a fucking obese tattoo on there to internalize their fucking strife. No. This is reality. I'll wind up the show. Everybody needs to keep on fighting. Let's get real. Let's get fucking real. So you don't get cancer. Shine your light. Let your fucking light, your little spirit fucking come through in a righteous, intelligent fucking way. We are flawed creatures. But you have to fucking try. Come out of denial, fuckers. Stand tuned.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical.